Hey everybody, welcome to the episode 7 continued. I did figure out a couple of those things as my brain cells, the coffee finally settled in and I was able to kind of figure out what I was doing. Just a really super short stream as to what we wanted to do, and I did fix the current price. So if we were to go in and we were to change this to 0.51 cents, let's say, in this particular issue, and this is one we were just doing from the last one, it'll now turn red. And so how did we do that? Well, what we did was we went to and we're obviously right clicking, we're conditional formatting, and that was correct the first time. So it is actually a formula, and that formula is the inventory retail price. So when you do this and you go in and you specify it, you'll end up with this. So you click on the inventory retail price, and it is less than or equal to the inventory minimum MKU, then it will change to red. And you can also bold it if you want to, or you can make it italic, or you can create a fill color. You can do any of these things that you want to do. I just like changing it to red. Red is just fine for me. So if we do exit the layout, we can see it is now red until we change it back to $1. So if we go back and get rid of all of that and then go back to $1, it is now that color. It is now the green or the blue color. One other thing that we want to do really quick is we talked about the add amount button, and we set that up on a script trigger. And so one of the deals I was thinking of is if we're going to have various pages and we want to either do a count or we want to add, I think that the best way to do that is to add buttons to it. And that way we can control what those buttons actually do. So we can say, do you want to confirm it? Because if you remember when we were writing the script for that, we kind of fell into a situation where we couldn't cancel. We couldn't get out of it should we want to. And the script kind of locked up on the add amount thing. So what I want to do quick is I just want to show you an idea, and then we're going to finish up with this on Thursday. But I want to move these things. So we're just going to kind of click on them, and then we're going to move them. Why is it not letting me move this? No, it doesn't want me to move it. But I'm going to go ahead and move these really quick over here. And I'll do the current barcode and the barcode entry search. And we're just going to move them over here out of the way. And I do want to get a hold of all of this stuff. And I want to move it all as far over here as I possibly can, because I really want to get it out of the way. That's kind of a big deal. And then this add amount thing, I'm just going to click on it. I'm going to go to the set script triggers, and I'm going to uncheck this on object. As you can see, it says on object. So if I uncheck it, now it will take that off, and we don't have to actually worry about that even at all, and we can get rid of it. So now when we are in our edit layout mode, it will do nothing. If we add 12 and click off of it, it'll just go to $12. I don't know why, but it actually does so. We do need to just erase it. So what we will do is we're going to go into edit our layout mode, and we're going to change this. We're going to click on it, go into our inspector really fast, and we're going to change it from currency to general. And then we'll close that out really quick. USA Refurb, you teach very well. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that very much. So one thing that I want to do with this button is I'm going to add some more buttons to it so that we can clear this out. So we're just going to delete it. Now, what I want to do is I want to say add amount, and then I want to put some buttons in it. But I want to really segregate this. So I'm going to go ahead and put this like up here somewhere, where it's out of the way. And then what I want to do is I want to add some buttons. So I'm going to go ahead and grab some buttons, and I'm going to just kind of get my cursor right in the corner of that. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. And I want this button to be, we'll just call add quantity. And we're just going to tell it to do absolutely nothing for now. but we're just going to say add quantity, and we're going to change this button. And then what we're going to do is we're going to control, and we're going to just move it over a little bit so that it's in the same thing. And now we want to change that to change quantity. Oop. And look at that, I just added a thing to it. So we have to double click on it and then do change quantity. Okay. And of course they're going to do absolutely nothing at this time, but this is going to be the base for our unit. And we're also going to do that very same thing on our change price thing as well. And I just wanted to give you guys a very quick update of how we were going to do that. So now what we can do is on our add quantity button, obviously we're going to change the colors of them. So you can go into your script and your appearance, and you can change it to a solid color. And obviously the solid color would be a green color for me, and it's probably a nice dark green color. And we don't want an inner shadow, we don't want an outer shadow, we don't want anything. The outside line is just fine. And the change quantity, we're going to make that into a solid color. And we want that to be a very dark blue color, probably, like a nice dark blue color. And now if we go in and we close this out, we go in and we change our script to the Bookman old style and the color to yellow. It will show up quite readily. It'll be like, it'll just pop. It'll just be like right there. And if we want to, we can also change it to a 14. Now we want to make sure that our buttons are sizable enough, that they're big enough that they can actually handle that. So if you're thinking my buttons aren't going to be able to handle that, just grab both of them, and then that way you can add to them both in equal amounts, so they're both identical in size all the time. So now if we click on this one, we can go into the Bookman old style. We can make it 14 font, and we can change that to a yellow color as well. And then that way it just kind of, it pops. It just comes off of the page and it says, hey, here I am. I think that's the right one. It does kind of look funny, but we can change like the outside line. You can change the outside line and really just make that whole thing pop. And we're just going to bring this over and we're going to line it up. And that's one of the reasons why we gave it some room over there on that far side. So if we grab them all, we can basically move them over here. So now when someone says, I need to add product, they can go in and they can say 10, 12, 15 or whatever, and then we can easily script that to where it will do this. So what we'll do that, we're going to do that really super quick, and I'll show you how to do that. We'll double click on this. We're going to tell it to perform a script, and I think what we'll do is the last script that we actually wrote was add quantity inventory. So let's just double click on, or just click on that, and then we can go into edit. And so it says now set the variable, the inventory, set the field, add inventory, show custom dialog, inventory modification, please verify accounts are active. Well, we don't need the custom dialog anymore, so we're just going to erase it. And then you set the field quantity, the amount plus quantity, and then in this particular field it says go to field. We don't need to do that anymore. And this exit script we're going to get rid of, and we're just going to type in halt script, because that is my favorite thing to do, and I know absolutely from this point we're not going to have to worry about it. It's going to do exactly what we wanted it to do without all of the ifs, ands, or buts. Now you will probably want to go ahead and put in an if script, like so that if your field is empty, to just halt the script should someone accidentally push the button. But it's not going to change anything if you just push the button. So we're going to go ahead and we are going to add our if statement. And we're going to close it down. We're going to take it all the way to the top, and we're going to take our end if, we're going to take it all the way underneath there. And so now what we're going to do is we're just going to say if is empty, double click on that, and it is, as you remember, This one is going to be our find inventory, the find underscore INV. That's the very first one. So if this button is empty, what do we want to do? Well, if we click on this, we can say show custom dialog. And we'll just say error or whatever the case is, or I'm just going to say error code 1657, and the message is no data was found to modify the inventory quantity. I'm kind of messing up because I'm trying to be very quick today. So please either, I'm thinking declare, but please add data before continuing, and we'll call that good. Now, we don't need a cancel button. As you guys know, I am a big fan of not having a cancel button because a cancel button does you absolutely no good. Ever does nothing for you. And then the next thing we're going to want to do is we're going to just want to go ahead and halt the script. Now we can grab this halt script and just move it up here, call it good, and then add another halt script to the bottom of it. As you can see, this is really super fast. It goes really super easy, and we'll just say okay. And we could have modified the name of that as well, but I think that's probably the best thing to do. So now if we come in here and we want to add, now we could have added a negative thing, but because if you add negative 25 and then you push add quantity, it'll say no data was found, blah, 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 blah. Okay, whatever. Let's see. Oh, you know what we didn't do? We didn't add inventory. So this is the add inventory price, not the find inventory. That's where we went wrong. Exit layout. So we'll go ahead and go into here. It says value set variable add inventory. Well, that's not what we want to do. Is if is empty, find inventory. That is absolutely incorrect. So if is empty, and we need the add inventory button. Gosh, I just went so fast I wasn't even thinking of what was going on. So if that is empty, if the add inventory is empty, then it will show the custom dialog. And if set variable amount value inventory add inventory, that's correct, then set the field add inventory to blank. And on this one, what we needed to do was we needed to this should be if is empty, if is empty, and that field is add inventory. Okay. Then halt the script, and then if it's not empty, then we're going to go ahead and empty it, and then we'll halt script. And I think that one should work. So let's go ahead and exit the layout, and let's add 5, and we'll add to the quantity. It automatically goes into 5. Now, if we were to do a negative 30 and add the quantity, it will subtract 30 from our thing, or from our in-stock number. So if we wanted to, if you don't want people to be able to subtract numbers from that, you need to add an if statement that says if that add amount or add inventory is less than 0, halt the script. Okay, so it's a pretty simple process, and I'm going to show you how to do that really super fast. We're just going to work on the add inventory button or on this particular script. So we'll go here, we'll click, I want to click here, and then I will add another if statement. So if the add inventory is equal to or less than, and then we will do 0, equal to or less than 0. Then what we want it to do is we just basically want it to halt the script, but we want it to clear the field first. So we will set the field, and the field that we want to set is obviously our add inventory field, and the result is going to be just the quotation marks, which will clear the field. And then we can just grab our halt script and bring it to the top, and then type in a halt script at the bottom here. Now you notice we've added several halt scripts because we want it to, if you don't do that, if it's working out of this, if it's empty, you want it to stop here. You don't want it to just keep going, because it will just, the script will just keep going until you tell it to halt script. And then if this happens to be true, we want it to just clear the field and halt the script. Pretty simple. So now if we go back into our system and we close it and we exit the layout and we take a -25, it will not do anything. Notice how it is still 75. And if we do 25 and we do add amount, it will automatically add the 100 to it. Now what we want to do with the change quantity button is, and I'm just going to go through that super fast, is we want it to take and replace this number with this number. But and I want you guys to think about this quickly, because what we're going to do is we're going to add something that's called a modification report, so that and we'll add that to the scripting as well. But what it is it's a list view page that will list every time someone adds a quantity to this, every time someone pushes this add quantity button and it changes, it makes a change to your inventory. So if I just push the button and it did nothing, then no problem. We don't care, right? So we're not going to keep track of that. But if someone adds like 10 or 15 or whatever to it, and you're changing the in-stock number, or you're changing the current price, I, as a manager, want to know that. So we're going to set up a field on Thursday. We're going to set up a layout that will keep track of all of those changes and let us know what changes were made. And then if we approve of those changes, great. If we disapprove of those changes, then it will go back and make a change for us. It'll go back and fix it for us so that we don't have to worry about it. And we're going to put that right on that page too. So there'll be two little buttons at the end. It'll be accept or deny. And if you deny it, it will reverse engineer the original script. So if you put in, you changed the base price here, and we're going to do this very same thing over here for changing the base price. So we're going to grab our box and we're going to bring it over here and line it up. And I do want to leave some room between these, because what I really want to do with these is I want to put some boxes around them, so that if I want to, I can go into a basic shapes field. I can put a box in there. I can go into my inspector, and we don't want any color, but we do want a line, and I want the line to be red. And I also want that line to be a number 2, so it's thicker. And now if I close this, or I move it, so now if I grab it, I can move it around wherever I want to. And so now it's delineated it. And so now if I grab it and I hold the control button, I can come straight down with it, and I can add that. And then I can grab this, hold shift and this, and I can lower these to where they are centered in my little box. And that's kind of what I want to do, is I want to get these centered in the box. And now what I've basically done in a very quick hurry is I've given you an opportunity to modify and change things very quickly. So if I grab this one and I bring it down here and I line it up, and I grab this one and I bring it down here, what this does is I can now change these so that this one can be if I double click on it, my machine is running just a little bit slow, so I got to tell it to do nothing for now. But I want it to, what I want this to be able to do is, and I'm going to change the color of the buttons too, so that they're very, very much different than the other ones. But in this particular sense, what I want to do with this one is I want it to change the price of the product so that this retail number changes. So it's the exact same thing as I was doing here. Add quantity. This one is going to be, you know, do you want to increase the price or do you want to decrease the price? So that if we decrease the price, it will change this number, and then we'll know, so that, you know, we'll have that ability to change, but it will log it. And then this space that we have down here, we're going to put in a quick little warning saying, you know, be warned, or let's just do this really quick. Say warning, modifications to this record are recorded and available for admin and management review. And now we can take this box and we can move this box over here. And I think that the better thing to do would be to grab and do a warning. And this one, I want it to be Bookman old style. I want it to be much larger, probably 18 or 24. We're going to make it just a bright red. And so this warning box will go in the middle of all of this other stuff. As soon as we find the dead center, it's kind of hard because once you start to get things into a system, when you start putting a bunch of things in, it changes where everything goes, right? So this is in the dead center of the whole thing and not necessarily this other unit. So I'm going to go ahead and move it over here to where it's dead in the center of the box. And then, as you can see now, it says warning, warning, modification to this record are recorded and available for admin and management review. So now you're warning the person who's making those changes, guess what? These things are being recorded, and so they will maybe think a little bit before they start making changes to our record. But like I said, we're still going to use several copies of this page, and we're going to allow certain things to happen on certain pages where we don't allow them to happen on other pages. Like changing the price will only be available to your management. So your back office, this page will be available to the back office, and the back office will be able to add and or change the quantities and add and or modify the price as well. They will also be able to add products in here, add SKU numbers in here, and do all kinds of other things. Like one of the things that we're going to do is we're going to make sure that I've ordered a scanner so that we can put a scanner involved in this, so you can scan things as you need to, or enter that data into the system as well. But we want to also make sure that these are non-changeable, so certain things we're not allowed to make a change for. And as I said, in this particular sense, the add quantity button for this is going to be basically, we're going to change the price of it. And so I'm going to double click on it, and we're going to call this modify price. And I do want to go in and get into my inspector, and I want to change the color of it. because I want this one to be very dark, like a dark red kind of a color. And then on the other one, it's going to be, we can make that one, it can be, let's see, we want to modify the price. We want to you know what we can do? We can do, let's do this. I've got a really brilliant idea. Let's do this, add, or I wanted to place that product on sale. So let's just do place on sale. And I want this to be a really nice color, but remember, it's got to be a dark color. It has to be a dark color in order for this to work. So we would probably want to go ahead and pick ourselves a nice dark green color. I think would be just fine. I don't like that color for some odd reason. Just don't like that color. Let's see what happens if I change it to this color. I don't like that color either. But I do want to change it to something very seasonal in color. So we can either use like a red color, which should be just fine because you see how it pops, right? It just pops. So we either modify the price or we place it on sale. So what placing it on sale will do, and this is price change, right? And I'm going to show you how to do this really super fast. So, and I only have just a few minutes, so I do apologize because Josh is kind of watching me pretty quick. What I want to do is to place it on sale, I want to quick perform a simple script, and I'm going to add a new script, and I'm going to just call this one place, and then underscore sale. And so the very first thing I want to do is I want to set a variable, and that variable is going to be, we're just going to call it sale. And it's going to be that price change box. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to, now that we've set that variable, we're going to see if there is already something in the sale box. So we're going to say if, I think that would probably be the best thing, is we can either if or we can set the field. So because if it's 0 then and you press this button, you're accidentally going to set that price. So we do need to add an if statement, but just for now, I think the best thing to do is I'm just going to show you how to do this. We'll set the field, and this field is going to be the sale price, and the calculated result is going to be $sale. And that's the absolute quickest way that you can do that. Halt script. Now, as you see, we set the variable. Now, if the box is empty, it's going to set that box as empty. So we do really need to make sure that when we're doing it, that we add the if statement to there. And that if statement is if the price change box, or if is empty, let's just type in is empty, and the price change box, we'll say okay, then we'll tell it to halt the script. Pretty simple, and we can take this number 1 and we can bring it down below there. So if it is empty, it will automatically halt the script. Then I would go here and I would definitely add another if statement, and I would say if, and I would say sale price is already full. If it is not empty, you know, don't do something, or whatever the case is. But I think let's just cancel that. Let me get rid of this because, well, dang burn it, I need it to set what I need to do is I need to move this up here. That's what I need to do. So I need to do this. If the sale price, if the price change is equal to or less than, no, cancel that. You know what? Let's just not even worry about that. We will add to that later. But so what it's going to do is it's going to set the sale price, and then we do need to set the field, and the field is going to be the price change, and the calculated result is obviously going to be the two things, and then we will halt the script. And we will add next week or later this week, couple of days. I apologize for going quite so fast and trying to get this done, but what I want to do with this is I basically want to just kind of put it into place so you guys can see, because what happens to me is I do a show, right? I'll do a stream, and then all of a sudden I'll be like, oh my gosh, I was so focused on the show, or so focused on the stream, that my mind wasn't, I wasn't thinking about all these other ideas, and I was like, wait just a minute, let me get all these other ideas out there and get them to my people like as soon as I possibly can. So now when we exit the layout, we notice we don't have a sale price, and we're going to say that our sale price is 0.75 cents, and we will place that item on sale, and it automatically puts it on sale. Now, one of our script triggers, one of our scripting issues for when we sell a product is it will check the sale price first. Okay, so just so you know, now we have it, and you guys have gotten that done, and we'll make sure that this box is a nice different color for our deal. We're going to change it to a red color for the script. So now when we exit the layout, it will be bright red to let us know that there's actually something in there as we go through our different products. So as you guys can see, this is where we're going with it, and don't forget, tune in on Thursday. Thursday, we will finish this out. We're going to really make this look amazing. So we will see you guys on Thursday. Thanks for joining me, everybody. This is like episode 7, continued, so that because we were on that vein, and now we're off that vein. So thanks, guys. We'll see you guys in the next stream. Don't forget, like, subscribe, do all that neat stuff, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.